Hi everyone, I'm Anna Finch from Finch Press and also the debut author of Voiceless, A Mermaid's Tale. So it's been about 2 weeks since my last video. So this video is a vlog. It is basically basically I'm just going to be focusing on my progress on my new novel, which I'm currently calling Unspoken. I'm going to talk about my progress with that, what my plan is for that book going forward, and how I went with Voiceless, considering it's now being released for 2 and a bit months. Yeah. Alright, so to start with, Unspoken. So if you haven't watched my videos before, or any of my vlogs for my last NaNoWriMo project, which didn't quite go so well, Unspoken, I'm planning on making it, it's kind of like Little Mermaid meets Beauty and the Beast, with a lot of lies, betrayals, and secrets woven in. The main character, or currently at this stage there are 2 main POV characters, and I'm just planning for 2 POV characters, unless I get really stuck and have to switch POV just to get the first draft done. Both of those characters are introduced at the end of Voiceless. They're introduced, well, one of them's introduced or hinted at since the beginning. It's kind of near the beginning of the book. You're more solidly introduced to her, to the female character, towards the end. So in the last quarter of the novel, roughly. And the male POV character is briefly introduced in the last chapter of Voiceless. Kind of giving that stuff away, but just to read because it kind of hints at it. At this stage, my plan is because the female POV character is older than she looks. She's a lot older than what she looks. Mentally, she is basically a teen. She most likely has, so her development was most likely very stunted. Her emotional, psychological development is more akin to a teen rather than an adult. The male POV character, again, is technically a teen. Technically a teen in his late teens. So like 19, 20-ish. So this is, so from the POV characters, content-wise, I'm going to be dealing with a lot of YA issues. Even though the characters maybe are in the more older part of YA, particularly the male character, he's probably in the older part of YA, and I'm classifying it as YA. Big reason is, even though I'm self-published, in traditional publishing there is no new adult category. New adult isn't a thing in traditional publishing. So categorizing it as new adult may work in Amazon, for example, but it definitely won't work if I want to get my books in bookstores because it's not a category. So content-wise, I know it's more suitable for YA, the more mature end of YA. So I'm going to be basically categorizing it as YA. Now, this may change if early reviewers read it and they know this is adult. But at this stage I'm planning it for it to be YA because it deals with issues that are core to some, or that affect a lot of young people. You can kind of see the teacher coming in through this. So because the characters are dealing with issues that affect young people, particularly the female POV character, I'm going for the YA category because, again, bookstores do not have a new adult category. There is no shelf for new adult. There's adult, which is just labelled as fiction or fantasy or sci-fi or whatever the category is. But the adult section of a bookstore literally just have the genre. It will say fiction. If there's like a directory or whatever, it will say fiction, but it won't say adult fiction. It will just say fiction or fantasy or mystery or crime, whatever. Whereas YA is its own specific category. There's no middle ground in a bookstore. Hence, I'm categorizing it as YA. I may use for the ebook on the different platforms new adult categories because of the age range, but I can't for the paperback because that doesn't really exist in paperback, if you get what I mean. So there's that. That's kind of a brief overview. So I am trying to incorporate in this story, it's set in the same world as Voiceless. So it's same world, characters that are in this first book. Okay, same sort of rules for magic and everything. I'm just building on the characters that are in here that I really think deserve their own story. It's going to be the second in this series. I still have no idea what I'm going to call the series. Honestly, I'm either torn between calling it A Mermaid's Tale, because that's kind of the subtitle in this, and it's kind of easy to just put on everything, because basically for pretty much all the books, all the books I'm planning for the series are based on the mermaids, that are based on mermaids, who are basically the core characters in the world, and I'm focusing on in this case. So I'm torn between A Mermaid's Tale as being the series, or calling it a universe, Mermaid's Tale universe, or the Voiceless universe, or series. I'll probably call it the Voiceless series because I've kind of planned out my titles for the whole series. Because again, I'm kind of playing on that same sort of theme of voice and the different ways voice can be expressed, the way people can share and present their ideas. So the Voiceless. So I'm kind of thinking about current titles for the series: the Voiceless series or the Voiceless universe, A Mermaid's Tale series, or A Mermaid's Tale universe, the Zorobellan Chronicles, because it is set. I mean, the main characters are pretty much from Zorobella. Let me know what you think. What do you think should be the title of the series? Let me know down below. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think. So there's that. Now, with my progress, I have not finished the first draft of Unspoken. Now, school holidays have just started here in Australia, which means I've got 6 weeks-ish off, but I've also still got to do planning for school within those 6 weeks. But because I'm not on school grounds and I'm not teaching face-to-face for those 6 weeks, it's kind of easier for me to go, okay, you know what, I can get this first draft done, because there's minimal distractions. I mean, most of my family's birthdays are in January. So there's those distractions there. My own birthday's in January. But I can actually go to the library during the day and basically just sit down and work. I had planned on doing it this week, but honestly, I have been just so tired. And that I literally finished work Friday, and basically Saturday and Sunday I just crashed. I just like slept. I think I slept one of the days. I think I slept like 15 hours. That's how tired I was. Didn't help. I had some. That's how tired I was. I slept like 15 hours straight. So I've been pretty tired. Now, I have been doing other stuff besides writing, so I've been focusing on advertising. I'm focusing a lot on advertising for Voiceless, because it is a new release and I do need to continue getting interests. I'll do a kind of mini review about Facebook ads and advertising for books, what I thought about it in another video. So I've been focusing on advertising. I have written a bit since the end of Nano for this, but I'm still on chapter 6, which is what I was up to last time. I wrote a bit more after, I think after my last live stream for that chapter. I didn't write a whole lot more because I got swamped by stuff at work, preparing stuff for next year, because I'm teaching year 11 next year, VCE, which is, I think, this is kind of like the year before. This is for the certificate, VCE certificate, which is basically kind of goes for 2 years. It goes for 2 years. It's kind of in year 12 is basically our equivalent. Year 12 VCE, even year 12 VCAL really. Year 12 VCE is kind of our equivalent of the A levels in the UK, or senior year, I think, in the US. So it's our kind of diploma, basically a graduate diploma for high school students. So I'm teaching year 11. And because it's the first year the school has taught year 11, it means I've got to work extra hard, because again it's the first year, so we're going to be assessed on everything. So there's that. So I've been preparing. I think I did like 6 months worth of lessons or lesson planning, like PowerPoints, and more for like student resources, not to use, but PowerPoints for student resources for every single topic in 6 months, basically. The activities for each lesson. I've done 6 months worth of planning for year 11, and I'm going to try and see if I can do the other 6 months. So at least the PowerPoints and stuff and core information, so that all I need to do when it comes planning wise is just edit and improve on the notes that I'm going to give to students, rather than starting from scratch and having to plan like on the fly, which is not what I want to do. I've also got a plan for English and inquiry and humanities. I've got 7 different classes this year across like 4 subjects. Next year across 4 subjects. The thing is, I'm at the same school. Yes. But anyway, so I've been super busy on that. So planning that, I basically wrote like 50,000 words just in lesson plans and stuff, which is ridiculous. But for Unspoken, I'm still in chapter 6. Now, I have noticed I am writing slower. That's partly because I want to get as much as I can right with the first draft. I know it's not going to be perfect, but I want to at least get the core plot and character development as accurate and as well written as I can, so that when I do developmental editing, and I am a developmental editor, the same one who helped me edit Voiceless, I don't have to make as much changes as what I did with Voiceless. Because with Voiceless, because I wrote Voiceless, I wrote the initial draft in NaNoWriMo last year, which was ended up about 60,000 words. No, but it ended up about 55 to 60,000 words. This is after some kind of editing with my brother's help. But I basically had to add another 40,000 words after developmental editing because I rushed through the first draft just to get it done, which kind of helped because it meant I'm like, yep, I've done it. Now I've got the core bulk of I've got the main plot done. All I need to do is edit, which was a plus. But I had to write an extra 40,000 words in backstory, in character development, and honestly, I don't want to do that again. So I'm kind of slowly working my way through it. Now I'm gonna try. My plan is to get this first draft of Unspoken at best before my birthday in January. So before mid-January, which is possible if I go 5 days a week to the library for about 5-6 hours. This is 5-6 hours. This is with some breaks in between. So if I go 5 days a week for 5-6 hours each day, I can get it done because I can be able to get the first draft done because the way my brain works is I associate the library with work. Okay. At home, it's more difficult for me to concentrate because my brain goes, no, you're at home and the home is for fun stuff, and so my brain kind of distracting. I do get distracted anyway if I'm at the library, sometimes by a video that pops up on YouTube or whatever. But I can quickly get rid of the distraction because I'm like, nope, I'm here, I'm working. Same when I'm at work. So when I'm at doing my day job at teaching, when I'm at work, when I have to do planning, I can sit like 4 hours straight planning lesson after lesson after lesson, which is kind of what I did. I had one full day in the last week, 2 weeks, I think it was activity week, where I literally just had no supervision outside the first 10 minutes of the day for home group, and I just worked the whole day. And I think from morning until like lunchtime, I think there's like 4 or 5 hours roughly without a break. I got a whole lot of stuff done. Like I can sit down and for 4 or 5 hours straight and just write. So I can do that at work because I go, okay, work is work. My brain goes, no, you're here, you have to do work while you're at work. There's no leeway for me to go, no, why don't we do something else? So hopefully, if I can wake up early, if I try and get myself in the routine of waking up early, going to the library 5 days a week at least, and just writing for like 4 or 5 hours, a couple of breaks in between, I can get the first draft of Unspoken done by before mid-January, which means that I have 2-3-ish weeks to get Speechless, which is book 3 of the series, done, or the very least get most of it done, so that I know when I've sent Unspoken off to a developmental editor, I'm working on book 3, I know what to include as the bonus chapter at the end of book 2, if you get what I mean. So I know what to put in the end matter and things like that. Whereas I have to get it done in this time because summer holidays are basically the only time really where I have very little to do in the day and very little distractions if I'm going to the library. So basically I've got to basically give myself a kick up the arse and force myself to go to the library and do it. Hopefully I can. I really hope I do, and because I really want to tell this story. I mean, it's interesting, the way I'm kind of trying to incorporate some story threads from Beauty and the Beast into this story. But also, I kind of want to get to this other book in the series that's a bit further down, because it's saying, my brain's like, do this, this seems interesting, do this. So I'm trying to force myself, nope, I've got to write this book first, because this is the next in the series. So there's that. So progress-wise, I haven't moved forward much in Unspoken. I'm going to try and see if I can get this first draft done in the summer holidays. If I can get that first draft done, regardless of whether I start Speechless or not, if I can get that first draft done, that means all I really need to do is edit. And if I do it properly, if I do my first draft properly, I don't have to do a ton of I don't have to do a massive developmental edit or upheaval that could change the story completely. So I've got to do that. If I can get that first draft done, I'll be happy. So basically, if I get that first draft done, what that means is I can just focus on editing. And editing, as long as I'm properly motivated, I can get it done relatively quickly. So I can do 3 rounds of editing in a month. This is with going back and forth with actual editors that I hire, so copy and proofreaders. Yeah. So there's that. But I do have an announcement. So with Voiceless, so Voiceless is currently on sale. I've extended the sale, so this sale will run until the 31st of December, so until the end of this year. This means Voiceless is $2.99 US and $1.99 UK, and currently $3.99 Australian, I believe. And this is across all platforms, so Amazon, Nook, Kobo, Google Play, Apple. So this is across all platforms, and the sale's only for the ebooks at the moment, because I published my paperback through Ingram Spark, so doing things like discounts isn't exactly feasible. But the sale is on until the end of the month. Yes. Also, so as of this morning, I am actually number 1 in a couple of categories. I'm number 1 bestseller in a couple of categories on Amazon. So in the Mermaid ebooks for young adults, I'm actually number 1 in the category, which is amazing. I was bouncing today. I was like bouncing all over the place. So I'm just glad the advertising that I used worked. So finally reached Amazon's bestseller list in multiple categories, which is awesome. Yeah. Anyway, if you have purchased a copy of Voiceless, regardless of what platform, leaving a review on the platform you purchased Voiceless from, or on Goodreads, would really, really help. Leaving an honest review will definitely helps self-published authors like me. It can help drive attention and notice, especially on Amazon, because books that get reviews or verified purchased reviews and regularly get sales are the ones that get noticed the most in Amazon's platform. Yeah, so leaving an honest review would really, really help. And honestly, I do read people's reviews. I am a debut author, and yeah, I would like to hear your feedback. If there's anything, so I would love to read your feedback. Yeah. Anyway, so that's it for this video. It's kind of long. I'm also going to do another video straight after this. I'll probably release it later today as well, reviewing Punishment by Anne Holt, a crime thriller. Anyway, so this video is kind of long. I'm going to end it here. See ya. Bye.